Okay, so this is the home page, and then you'll see the number of participants you've consented and randomized. Obviously, this is very high because it's just a training database. And then from this page, you can run reports to check for overdue CRFs. But I'll come back to that. So to add a participant on the Patients tab, just go Add Screening plus Consent. Then you just go through. And if the woman doesn't meet any of the inclusion or exclusion criteria, you'll get a warning message come up, but you just carry on and complete the rest of it. So this woman's 34 plus 2. So the answer to this one about gestational age is no. So obviously I can't consent her today, but I just carry on completing the rest of the form. So at this stage, if I put yes, I just want to show you the options here. So most of these are not exclusion criteria from the trial point of view, but maybe the clinician are not happy to let women be randomized into the trial. So anyway, just go through. If it's helpful to have the PDF of the screening form to hand, so you can see the different pathways. Anyway, at this point, I'm just going to put no. So eligibility that may change, well, I'm going to put yes, because at the moment the only thing that's making this woman ineligible is a gestational age, so obviously that could change. And then the next question, if the woman, so is this woman willing to be recontacted? If she's already said she doesn't want to take part, then at this stage you just put no, and then check through the reasons there and select those. I'm going to put yes now. So because she's 34 plus 2, when she reaches 35 weeks, you'll get an automatic reminder, email reminder asking you to get in touch with a woman and maybe and update the screening form. If you wanted to add the CRF notes, you can put in anything that's helpful to yourself. For example, when you're going to see her next or any plans. Okay, and then you just click save. And then the trial number is generated, and that trial number will stay with the participant throughout. So if she's consented or if she's randomized, that will be the number she has. Oops. So if I wanted to edit this form, I'd click on the link here. It's only the first time you add the screening form, and then you can see the list of assessments that might need to be completed. So these discs here, they indicate the status of the form. So this is a new one, completion status pending. So by the every morning, the forms are refreshed if they've been changed. So that will change. That should change to green tomorrow morning to indicate it's complete. So it was just a change that was made on the database to speed things up, and it has worked. So you can see there received, and then the other forms that might need to be completed. I'm just going to bring up, show you updating a screening form for somebody that was screened earlier. So I can put their trial number there, or alternatively, when you just log on, you can search for the patient in this tab, search patients, put the number there. But that sometimes can conflict with the NHS number. So I think the easiest thing, if you do know the number, is just to put it in to click on assessments. So so this one was screened a couple of days ago. So whenever you need to edit the form, at the top of the page, you need to select an audit reason from the drop-down list. It doesn't matter which one, you just need to select one. I'm just going to get the NHS number there. So just go through all the checklist again. Actually, sorry, I need to, the important bit, update the date of screening. Check these criteria still apply. Click on calculate GA to update that. So now it's 36 plus 1. If, say, that when you came to update the screening form, the lady had already been given birth, then you would tick that box, GA not applicable, previously screened and now postpartum. Anyway, okay, so now I can change this to yes, because she's within that eligibility window. And just check through these, and because she meets all the criteria, you get more fields appear around consent. So maybe at this point you've recontacted the woman and she says she doesn't want to take part, so then you just select no and select a reason from there and then finish off the form. I'm going to say yes, and then you just select how she was consented. At this point you're asked for the full NHS number. And then when she's consented, you're asked for extra information about her. So if I put yes there, then you get these fields appear asking you about all the different hypertensives. I'm just going to put no just to speed things up. And then I'm going to update the date of form completion to today. And then I'll just click save. And it will inform me that it's updated successfully. So just click on OK. And the next day, you'll get an email confirming the woman has been consented. I mean, that happens unless you randomise the lady on the same day, in which case you just get the one email straight away when she's randomised. I'm just going to go back to the assessments page so you can see how that's changed. So now there are due dates for these other forms because she's been consented. Okay, now I'm just going to look at randomising a participant who's consented on a different day. So I'm just going to put I'll just put the number in there for now. Actually, I don't do that. Forget that. So to randomise somebody, from the Patients tab, you go Randomise Patient. So I'm going to put the number there. So this is what it will default to. So even if it turns out the woman can't be randomised because new plans have been made, it's important that you could complete this form so that we know why she wasn't randomised. So it says, was a woman consented today? if I put yes, it'll warn me, the woman, you know, put me right, the woman was consented on the 6th of November. So I'm going to change that to no. And then it asks me, have any new plans been made for birth? If I selected yes, then I wouldn't be able to randomise her. I just click on there and just finish the form off. If I select no, then I get more questions about symptoms of preeclampsia. If I select yes to any of these, again, I wouldn't be able to randomise the woman today, and I'd get a warning message. I mean, possibly if she was just 37 plus 0, possibly things could change, and maybe if a couple of days later you would be able to go back in via the randomised patient tab and randomizer. For now, I'm just going to put no to all of these. Yeah, be careful with this one. Try and make sure it matches. It's unlikely to have changed from the screening form, so just try and just check that what the situation was of the home BP monitoring, because you're asked on the screening form and on this form if she's consented on a different day. Okay, so you're willing to be randomized, put yes. So it's pre-populated with information from the screening form. Just have to put my name, and then again, and click randomize. And then you get confirmation there, and with the treatment arm. So I'm going to click on OK. And you'd also get an email almost instantaneously informing you of the trial number and what the treatment arm was. And that's sent to all the research team who have a database account. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to look at the patient assessments page for that person to show you how it's changed. So you can see there, it says date randomized. And now you've got the list of assessments is longer. So the additional ones are the maternal fetal surveillance and antenatal care, and the childbirth experience questionnaire, and the 6 weeks postpartum form, and then these other unscheduled forms that you might need to complete. Right, I'm just going, the only form that isn't in that list is the randomization form that we've just completed. So you need to access it via that tab. And then you can see, you can check there the group allocation. And to get back to the assessments page, I'm just going to click on there. Okay, I think now, is there any questions about that? Okay, I think maybe I'm going to look at signing the maternal outcomes form off. So I'm going to bring up a record for another participant. So this form's already been completed. I'm just going to change this because I'm going to edit it a bit. But first of all, I'll just scroll through. So there's some things selected in here, but these are the two sections that the PI or PI delegate would need to check and sign off. So abnormal laboratory tests and maternal complications. And because at the moment nothing's selected in those two sections, it's just the usual form completion section. If I do select something in there, when I scroll down to the bottom, you can see now there are extra fields. So what I would do is save the form, and then at some point when it was convenient, the PI or PI delegate would need to put their name in, put their database password in there, click on sign. That would the date there would autofill, and then they'd need to click save. But they would only have to confirm that that particular section, the data in that particular section was accurate. They wouldn't have to check all the data in the form. Any questions about that?
Just the turnaround time. So have you got like obviously as ideally as soon as possible, but is there like a ideal or a cut-off for the PI or delegate to sign off this data?
I don't want to say no, but there isn't. We're patient.
Thank you. That's all right. I think we'll arrange to have like a weekly catch up anyway with the PI, so we'll get a plan in place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we wouldn't expect it to be done within a week or I mean, if you look back, the due dates here, I mean, they're very generous. We only really sort of consider the form overdue if it's 4 weeks past. I mean, ideally, if we can get the data in as soon as possible, and you know, it's helpful. Just one thing, I'm sure Judy would have, or Katie would have mentioned it. It's important to get the delivery form and maternal outcome neonatal form completed to confirm that the mother and the baby are alive and have gone home. Otherwise, the 6-week postpartum form, the text message won't go out to her until those things are confirmed. So it does make it, yeah, it does make it delayed. Okay, I think maybe I'll just open the serious adverse event form just to show you the different sections. Okay, so I completed this and I just save it, and then once I've saved it, an email will be generated to the site staff and to Laura and the central will team and Sue and Julie. And then as soon as possible, the PI or the PI delegate would need to complete this section, causality assessment. And then when they'd put their name in and their database password and click sign, then another email would be sent to indicate that it had been updated in the next stage. Then Laura would do her bit, and again there'd be another email going out to say that it'd been updated, and then finally BCTU would do this last bit. Any questions about the SAE form? Okay, well, I think what's left then is the data query management. So I send out regular emails every 4 weeks for sites to run the reports on the database to check if they have any active queries. And to do this, you go to this tab and then click on Data Query Management Reports. An active data queries is the report that you need to look at. I mean, overdue data queries is the same, but it will just have the queries that have been overdue for more than 4 weeks. So it comes up with a table. It's ordered by study number first, then alphabetically by assessment. And you can see the question there and the instructions. Unfortunately, you can't just click on something and it will take you to the form. So you can export this if you wanted to print it, or you can just make a note of the numbers, and then maybe, or you can just open another tab, which is what I'm going to do, and search for the patient's records. So there are queries there on the baseline form, and you can see it on the participants assessments page as well. In the left hand side, it will tell you it's for unresolved queries, and the status is queries outstanding or missing data. So I'm going to click on that icon to open it. I'm going to select an audit reason. Doesn't matter what I select. And I can identify the questions that have queries by the question mark. So if I click on the question mark, it'll give me instructions. So most of the time it'd be pretty obvious. So please enter a phone number. And here's the query status active. So I'll click OK. Just going to do that. And I just carry on. Now here, there isn't any missing data. So it's BMI 60.70. So here it says, this value is very high. Please check the values of weight and height. If incorrect, please change them and click on calculate BMI to amend, then save the form. So that's what I refer to as the edit and save form, because you're editing the form itself. If correct, please follow the manage queries process. So in that case, if you're not making any change, you have to go through a different process and update a table on a different page. So I'm just going to put OK. I'm not going to do, I'm going to leave that. I've checked, let's just say I've checked this and it is correct. So I'm going to come back to that one. Here's another one. These are the most commonly left out things. Please confirm all the above. Sites quite often leave those out. So it just says, please tick diet, and please select a response for this question. Okay, so this question is about GDM, and we'd like, even if you've ticked oral tablets, we'd like you to tick diet. And I'm just going to put yes. And then the date of form completion. Now, for the BMI query, so it says, please follow, if correct, please follow manage queries process. So the manage queries button is down there. But if I click on that, it comes up with a warning. So are you sure any unsafe data will be lost? So obviously I don't want to lose that data I've just changed. So I'm just going to put no, and I'm going to save the form. So in this case, I have to address the queries in 2 stages. So now I can do manage queries, and I can click yes, because I know I've already saved it. And you get this page, the data queries page. And you can see the queries here. I'm just going to focus on this one at the moment, about BMI. Select it, and then you get more boxes below. And see the query again. So I'm just going to put checked and correct. And then I just put my initials. And I need to, this is the important bit, I need to change the status to pending resolution and click save. Because a common mistake is that sites will look at the form and say, okay, it's correct. So maybe they'll write something in CRF notes at the bottom, but then it won't register when I run the report that you've actually checked it and confirmed it. For these other queries, you don't have to do anything. It says active, but you don't have to manually go in and change all of these to pending resolution, because once you've logged off, automatically the status of those queries will change to pending resolution, because you edited the form itself. And and I mean, I regularly run the reports for any queries that are pending resolution, and then I'll go in and check them and resolve them. Any questions about that? Okay, so every, say, 8 weeks, I will send a report, which is basically the same as a report you can run yourself, but it's just in case it sort of, you know, sort of slipped people's minds. Okay, now I'm just going to go back to actually just one thing. Now, the 6 weeks postpartum form, I am sort of chasing via the queries process. I will raise a query on sort of the form to advise you whether you need to try and contact the participant, because maybe she hasn't responded to the 4 text messages, or maybe she did respond and asked for a phone call and you haven't managed to phone her yet. It was just like a reminder. Anyway, so for the other forms, if you go on the home page, you can see here, so this one, there are delivery forms that are at least 4 weeks overdue. Obviously, you're not going to get this many, but you could check there, you know, whenever you go on the home page, sort of like a reminder of what's outstanding. Again, sadly, you can't just click on it and it'll take you to it, but at least you can just make a note of the number. I think that's about it. Any queries?
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, if you can, if you forget your password, from the login page, you can click reset password and it will send you an email with a link to do that, or you can just contact the Will inbox